I was going to say, I think Garrett was really excited to...
Yeah, I've been playing with a new console.
Whoa.
I went and tracked down in a retail location.
Whoa.
The new 3DS.
Oh, shit, I haven't seen that yet.
XL. This is, Animal Crossing looks really pretty on it.
Let me see.
And check it out.
Let me see that head tracking.
But, I was at work last week and I called and asked Target...
It's not bad.
If they had any.
Right.
And they looked in the computer and said that, like, oh, this one kind of far away. It's the one out East Lake area.
Whoa.
They've got one. They've got 4 of them. So I call and I talk to the guy and I have him put it on hold. And then later that night I went out there. And when I walked up to the counter to buy it, the guy was, like, just there and smiling. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? I put a new 3DS on reserve. And he's like, oh, you're Garrett? And I'm like, yeah. Which, first of all... If you're in retail, you should not say the name of the person who has something on hold.
You don't say
That's
that first.
how Rocco's dad got...
My dad has gotten so many things that he didn't reserve because they were like, oh, you're Johnny. Yeah, that's me.
Oh.
Johnny's in the house.
Hi, do you guys have any PS2s? No, we just have that one on reserve. Oh, yeah, that's for me. Oh, you're Johnny from Arizona? Yep,
Yeah.
I'm Johnny from Arizona.
I mean, my dad has done that a dozen times.
So, like...
I remember getting the Game Boy Advance, and no one had it, and he walked in, and they were like, unless you're Thomas, you're not getting this.
The fact that
Thomas.
the fact that the guy said my name, I was instantly like, oh, well, okay.
Well, you're already getting
Yeah,
this
I'm
up.
there. Okay, he's got it on the thing, and he starts the interaction off like this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, but, like, we weren't supposed to put it on hold. You know, he took the call earlier today, and he points to this other employee, and he's like, he didn't know, but he wasn't supposed to put this on reserve for you. And I'm like, okay, well,
I'm here.
I'm here now, and there it is, and here's some cash. Like, let's do this.
Right.
Okay, and also my manager says that I cannot sell it without selling an accessory or a game.
What? Fuck! Hold on.
No!
This was at Target?
Target.
No!
Yeah. And then I kind of smile at him, and I'm just, like, trying to stay cool.
This only
Retail
happened
is, you know this.
I would have laughed in his face.
Bane of my
Yeah,
existence.
you hate it. I would have given him a big ha!
So I mean, I've got a photo, and I'll send it to you. Maybe you can put it in
I
on
will.
the podcast.
Sure. Yeah, this guy's face. Kill this guy!
I took... I'm like, okay, well, that's weird, but you know what? I am looking for Monster Hunter 4, so if you got a copy of Monster Hunter 4, I'll take that. But if you do not, I am only interested in the system, and I want to make this clear. I'm only buying the console I put on hold.
Yeah.
Okay, and he leaves, and he goes to look for Monster Hunter 4, comes back. We don't have it. Say, well, I'll just take the system that I put on hold. But actually, you know, my manager, she says that, you know, we have to sell, you know, do you want a charger or some stencils? Stylus? What? So I'm
Honestly,
like...
that sounds illegal.
It
does sound illegal.
Yeah. So I'm keeping my cool still. I'm like,
I can't believe that. I'd be so
you know
mad.
what? Let me level with you. Video games are kind of a hobby and a job for me. I've owned every Nintendo console. I got about 4 chargers. And I'm speaking calmly with them, you know.
Sure, yeah.
I got 4 chargers for this thing. They all fit it. I just gonna buy the console. That rule's made up. I'm sorry, but...
right?
And he goes, but, you know, da-da-da-da. I said, then can I speak to your manager? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Great.
you can speak to her. So now, when he gets on the walkie-talkie is when I snap this photo. So I've got him with his back turned on the walkie-talkie and my 3DS being held hostage on the table in front of him. He's on the phone, or he's on the walkie-talkie with her. He says, this guy's here to pick that 3DS up, and he doesn't want to buy anything else. And, yeah, I told him, but he doesn't want... Okay, and then they start talking in Spanish.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like,
oh, no.
well, what the fuck? Like, this is reverse racism.
Yeah, this whole thing
portrayed upon. This is weird.
Dude, it's total reverse racism.
They're talking, right? They're now speaking in Spanish, so I can't understand.
I know what they're saying, too. This fucking guy with
the
dreadlocks. He's fucking white.
This white,
He's
pasty, chalky motherfucker.
He's saying he's not going to follow our rules.
Generally, when at least in The Sopranos, when they speak Italian to each other, usually they're saying something along the lines of "these two suck each other's cocks."
Yeah.
So I'm sure he said that.
They're talking about you and the 3DS.
Talking about me in the parking lot after work. But they're going back and forth. He comes back to me. He goes, "Okay. Well, we're going to make an exception."
Oh!
just like the exception that you put it on hold and you're still gonna say, okay, 2 exceptions. I'm lucky. Okay.
Yeah, you won the lottery.
He can see. He's very aware. I would hope that this experience has not gone well for either of us.
Sure.
It's been met.
You were pretty polite.
I was pretty, but I'm being very
firm,
very firm, and almost laughing in his face at you. Do see how ridiculous this is.
Good.
So now he starts upselling me warranties, and also, you should rethink the charger and this and that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, thank you. Well, what about this warranty? And he's going to the shelf to pull off 12-month warranties and this warranty, and no,
Oh my
no.
God, dude.
And then I've been holding $220 in my hands because I know it's going to be $217 or something with tax. I'm like, no, and he goes, oh, you're killing me. And I just, I lost it at this point and go, dude, you're killing me. And now there's like an old guy across the way. So I'm like looking because I kind of yelled it. And I'm like, listen, man.
I've never heard Target to do this. I've never heard of this.
I'm like, listen, man. It's fucked up that your manager does this, and it's a fucking made up rule. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry that this happened to go down this way. But that rule is bullshit, and your manager's fucked up for making you do it. This is why people go to Amazon. This is not how retail should go. This is why no one wants to come into the store anymore. And by then, he's given me my change, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to him.
I told him, I was like, you have a good night tonight. I'm going to try to get this off my fucking head. But then I went and drove home from fucking Eastlake, and it was just perturbed the entire ride. Like, what the fuck is wrong with retail stores?
Yeah. And it really sucks because...
It gets me so heated.
The only reason that I had to go to a store for mine too, and it was also a bad experience.
Yeah.
It was a GameStop.
Yeah.
And that was the only place I knew would definitely have it when it came out. And it's like, the only reason is because Amazon doesn't carry them.
They don't do Nintendo
Amazon
stuff.
has some feud with Nintendo, and they don't sell the hardware. And it's like, can you please resolve this feud so I don't have to do this?
Well, you know what? It was almost like making this reward that much sweeter. When I walked out of it, like, I can't believe the dragon I had to slay to achieve.
Sometimes you just have to slay a dragon.
I mean, apparently.
Hey, I had the same thought when the original Rock Band came out, and I was buying the full set.
Yeah.
And I went to Walmart for it because they're the only place that were going to carry it, and it was me and one other. He looked like the dude with no life in that Warcraft episode of South Park. Like just fat, unshaven dude, and I'm waiting there, and I'm like, they're going to the back to get it, and I'm like, they're only going to have one. I know they're going to come back with one, and sure enough, they did. And I waited for that guy to complain about something and turn around, and I took it and ran to the garden department. That game was so much more fun playing because I knew what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sneaky fucking sale tricks.
I was involved in a conspiracy.
I went to Target, and they actually sell beds there. I don't know if you know that. I bought a bed, and they said I couldn't. Because I had to buy the pillows and the blankets and the sheets too.
Is this a thing that Target does now?
No, I'm joking, but that's the same fucking thing.
Yes,
That's
yes,
the same thing.
This reminds me of a story. I have my own story like this. I went to KFC once, and I'm gonna skip ahead to
they
the
fuck
end of
with
the
your
story.
chicken.
I think the guy helping me was high on drugs,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize it at the beginning of the conversation, and I didn't realize it till long after I had already yelled at him after having this conversation. But basically, I went to KFC about a year ago, and I wanted to get some combo. They had all these combos laid out, cheap combos.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 wings and a drumstick. Can I get the 2 wings and a drumstick combo? And the dude's just like, yeah, okay, and puts the order in. And then he like walks back to back, and then he comes back. He's like, oh, we don't have, we're all out of wings. We got like drumsticks, we got like breasts. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Just give me a breast and a drumstick. Just substitute the wings. This is what he said. He's like, yeah, my manager says you can't do that. Oh. And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, so you're going to have to order something else. And it's like, I don't want anything else. I want fried chicken. I want the fried chicken deal. So I'm just like, well, I mean, I just want the drumsticks and like some fried chicken. So can I get that deal, that price, and with just a substitute? And he was just like, I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and exactly, Eric. I kind of lost it. I mean, I don't have as much patience as you. This was a long time ago, so maybe there's a little bit back and forth.
I've lost it over sauce.
But it just got to a point where I was like, "Are you fucking joking with me?" And I'm like yelling at him, and he's starting to look scared. And I'm like, "Just give me the wings or the drumsticks and the breast for the price that I want. Make the substitution. I don't care." And then he
Scary Derek.
real timidly gave it over to me, and then I got my food and I'm sitting down. My friend's with me and my friend's ordering, and I'm just watching the interaction, and the same shit is going down. I'm just thinking to myself, this dude's high. This dude's on drugs and was fucking with my chicken and did not expect somebody like me to walk
in
in
man's
there.
chicken.
Crazy.
Anyways,
Well, I'm glad you got it.
Just
Just the head's look cool in that.
Monster Hunter.
whatever
Here's
happened
the
to-
rub.
the customer is always right. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what these two stories
And you
have in
never want
common.
to be the old man who's saying that. What about the customer's always right?
Yeah, but why are you?
What was that interaction?
Why are you
Let me tell you something. Customer's always an asshole. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We're there. We went out of our way to bring our money to this establishment, and they're like, "Well, there's rules. I mean, you can't get what you want. You got to get other stuff."
That's
No!
all I kept thinking about when I drove. And that's one other thing that I told him was, your job as a retailer is to sell a product a customer wants to buy, and that's it.
Yeah.
When the fucking deal's gone south, don't upsell the shit out of them either. Get them the fuck. If they're upset, if they're yelling, get them the fuck out of there.
But that's the weird thing, though. Is
so right.
Take their money and give them a
that's
fucking
what you do.
receipt.
But that's the thing is, I expect that kind of shit from GameStop, but not Target.
I know,
Target's
it's
just
so
there to
fucking
sell.
weird.
Yeah.
And hey, guys that work retail, I know we got viewers out there that work retail. You know, if your manager's over your fucking shoulder, upsell the fucking batteries. I get it. But when she isn't there and some old lady's buying a fucking board game that doesn't need batteries, don't fucking upsell her the batteries.
I would always get in trouble when I worked at the bookstore. I'm not going to name what it was.
Yeah.
But I worked at a prominent bookstore. They always wanted you to upsell book memberships, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
fucking do it. And they would say, this was so crazy to me, but they said the customer has to say no 3 times.
Oh my god.
Do you remember the story I told where I had to yell at the guy at Radio Shack?
Yeah.
That was over him asking
Well,
me
they're
like
closed
3
now.
times. Yeah, go fucking
Actually,
figure.
Radio Shack's still open. I went there today.
Wow.
What?
There's a few left?
Yeah.
They closed a lot.
But they didn't have what I wanted.
When I looked at the list, was it Santee?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I looked at the list. They're closing almost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Santee is still surviving. It's like
How? That was
Go
where this
away.
happened.
But anyway, I was gonna say some people in the chat were asking. I was quoting Mallrats. Customers always-
Customer's always an
I
asshole.
was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That is one of my favorite. Ben Affleck improvises during that part, and they were like, "Whatever happened to the customer's always right?" Hey, let me talk to you for a second. Customer's always an asshole. What do you think of that? Huh? That part always cracks me up because it's not even clever.
such a
He's
young Ben
what do you
Affleck,
think?
too.
What do you think of that? He's 25, and that's
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I just remember having customers was like, "Would you like a and before I can even get it out the word,
Nope.
no, I do not want a membership. You ask me every time I come in here.
And
That's the first no.
so as a employee, you should take the fucking hint. And if your manager's not over your shoulder and you're not going to get in trouble, don't ask him 2 more fucking times.
Yeah.
When I worked at Target, I would get in trouble and get negative reviews all the time because I never asked if anyone wanted the Target credit card.
Yeah.
Because the interest rate on it is like 26%, and no one wants to
not
get
bad.
saddled with that, and that's fucked up.
And no one wants it.
Yeah.
They all say no.
Oh god.
We've all been
you
there.
know what? Hey. Instinctively, I want to agree. We all say no. I feel like I'm the only guy that is constantly, when I check out, behind the person who's getting it.
Ugh.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
let me
like
get that. And I'm
You're
sitting
right.
there just like, you gotta be fucking kidding
Let
me.
me fill
Get
out
out of here.
paperwork.
I signed up for the Best Buy credit card. I don't know if I should say that.
Ooh.
Worst thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Oh, no.
Worst financial decision I ever made. You can't do it now because they don't even offer that card anymore. So
there you go.
I
There you
had
go.
one
Live and
back
learn.
in the when I got a PS3, I got a card to finance it, and
Yeah.
I paid it off as soon as I could and cut the fucker up.
well,
Yeah.
for me,
because I knew it was going to be dangerous.
I think I made a big purchase on the card because they you're spending a lot of money. If you sign up for the card, you get a discount. You put it on the card right now. So I was young, dumb, and I did that. They never sent me a card for whatever reason. My address information got
Oh,
mixed up.
fuck.
So then,
Yeah, that sounds like Best Buy.
man, I never got bills. Honestly, I was really young. I forgot about this thing. It went into collections, and I never even had a card. So then I tried to call them up to straighten it all out, and they're like, "Oh, we sold our card company to another company, so now you have to call a third-party financial institution to deal with them." It was a nightmare.
That sounds
Yeah.
shitty.
Yeah.
I did the card thing once. I mean, I have my own credit cards and things like that, but for a store,
Yeah.
I did it once. Yeah, when I was real young, when we started Mega64.
I think everyone does that when they're young and
They
kind
had-
of learn.
And
Yeah,
you're like
they-
broke, and you're
No,
like,
but
yeah,
it-
they'll just give me a
But
card.
it
Learn a
actually,
lesson.
but it worked out. I never had any. It was a good. It actually, I got a really good deal on it. It was at Sears,
Oh, really?
which sounds bizarre, but they had
They used to have
they
GameStop
had the
there.
video camera. It used to be a lot stronger of a name in electronics.
Yeah.
They had the video camera. I was always looking for. They had the best deal on it, and getting the card, I got a good deal on it, and I paid it off as soon as we ever got paid by Mega64. I paid it off and I got the card. I was on it because I knew they were trying to like.
Yeah, I remember a
You
lot
know,
of people
yeah.
had Sears cards.
Yeah.
You know what? I guess I have a Home Depot card. That kind of counts.
Yeah, you got busted. Anyways, I've been playing a video game. I've been playing a couple video games.
Hell yeah.